everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. I'm going to be painting one of these trucks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to leave it as is, paint it as an Easter truck because I need an Easter truck in my decor. So what I did is I masked off the eggs that are in the truck, and I came a little bit onto the eggs so that when I paint the color, I won't have a line in between the color and the eggs when I go to paint it. I've also kind of drawn on where I want my fenders to be and about where the line's going to be here. It just helps me visualize it and make sure that it is proportionate. And I did the same to both sides. Okay. And after I paint it, I think I will draw a line on here to make like that edge of the edge of the truck bed. But yeah, I need to get it painted first. So I'm not going to paint my wheels with the blue, but I'm going to go ahead and paint everything else. And I'm using Apple Barrel Caribbean color, and I mixed it in with Waverly's chalk paint in white because I wanted it lighter, and then I wanted it to be a touch more green, so I put in about 3 drops of the Apple Barrel Limeade, and I mixed it all together and came up with this. It does not look as nice on the camera as it does in person, so sorry about that. So I'm grabbing my paintbrush and I am just going to paint away. I'm trying to keep it off the edges a little bit. I don't know. I might paint the edges. We'll see. So when you mix the Apple Barrel paint with the chalk paint, it seems to give better coverage. And I just like the chalky look of it. And sometimes when I mix the regular acrylic paint with the chalk paint, I don't need as many coats. I don't know if the acrylic just covers better or it's just a mixture and whatever is in the chalk paint, how it mixes with the acrylic. Not sure. So I'm just going to hit this with my finger and make sure that I don't have a line. I've come over the edge of where my wheel's going to be just a little bit, because I don't want any empty spaces. And I'm just going to kind of rub that in a little. I don't like to have a big noticeable paint line. I'm doing my YouTube videos in between my class session videos. It's kind of crazy. So I hope you're doing well in this isolation time and everyone in your family is staying well. And let's pass a little bit of the time together crafting and making something fun. All right, I'll be back to show you the next step. So I went and I painted both sides of my truck. It looks a little pale in the camera, but it is kind of a minty green color. I think I put a little bit too much green into my blue paint and it just kind of took over. So after the green paint dried, I took a pencil and I kind of marked out the lines that I wanted to have on my truck. I did it in pencil because if you've got this mixed with chalk paint, if your pencil lines are light, you can erase them. And so that's what I was doing, was I was sketching out the normal lines that would be on a truck. So I lined where the door would go, where the door handle would go. And usually there's like a little edge on a truck that is kind of like rolled over. So I drew that in, and then I connected the lines where the fenders go. And I kind of gave it a little bit of a running board look down here. And then the hardest part for me was the wheels, because a lot of people just paint the whole wheel circle and then the fender is just what's left. But I started looking online at farm trucks and different crafts that people had done, and you need to put some of that fender over the wheels to make it look a little bit more realistic. So with my pencil, I drew out where I thought that fender should go, and then I went ahead and painted with black chalk paint, the Waverly black chalk paint and ink colored. I painted that for the wheels, and then after the wheels had dried and I was happy with the lines and I thought it resembled the markings realistically on a truck, I went back with an alcohol marker. Now you can use a Sharpie, but my Sharpie isn't new enough. My Sharpies are getting dry. I need to go buy some more, but I haven't been to the store because we're all supposed to be social distancing. So I have these Firefly alcohol markers. They came in a pack from Tuesday Morning. It looks like this. And there's 12 markers and they were $9.99. They also have a larger pack that's multicolors, and I think there was 24 in a pack and they were $19.99. So same price either way. And I have like 4 sets to get all the different colors. So I used this alcohol marker. I tested it on a piece of wood that I had painted with this green paint, just because sometimes alcohol ink will dissolve some paints, but it works pretty good on this chalk paint. I got a nice sharp line. And what's cool about these is they're double-sided. So there's a broad tip on one end and a skinny tip on the other. Okay. So I used the skinny tip, the fine tip side. And after I had all my lines penciled out, I went over them with my alcohol marker, and I see one I missed. Now, for the places that were straight, I went ahead and put my ruler down and made the mark straight because I didn't want it to be crooked. And the places that are curved, like right here, I had to just kind of freehand those and hope for the best. The line got a little thicker than I wanted it to because I kept going back and fixing my errors. Just remember, this is farmhouse. It doesn't need to be perfect. That little voice inside of me keeps telling me, oh, go fix that. Oh, go fix that. And the more I seem to listen to that voice, the more I seem to overdo things. And then my fixing becomes making it worse. Okay. So I only put 1 coat of paint on this. I don't know if I said that or not. And I put just 1 coat of paint on the wheels. And when they're good and dry, I might come back with some white paint and do like a white wall kind of attire, or maybe just outline the circle or something. I haven't 100% figured that out. Okay, so this is what the truck looked like painted with just my pencil lines on it. Okay, and then I went back, I paint my wheels first, and then I can come back with my ruler and draw in the truck lines. Now, I just came right off the back of the truck. Kind of follow the lines that are already there for you. And when I outlined this one, I came right ahead and went right under where that cut is for the fender. And then that gave me something to take the fender around with. Okay, so that's how I outlined that. And then I just freehanded this little rectangle for the handle. I didn't use any rulers or anything. Okay, so that's how I did that. And then for painting the wheels, I just used a small brush. I just got done painting the other side, so I'm going to show you. I like to get lots of paint on my brush. I don't know if this is an accurate painting technique or not, but I like to just load my paintbrush up pretty thick and then push down with my brush and let those, I can kind of see my pencil line, that's what I'm looking at. Let those bristles just kind of float over to the line rather than trying to brush it to the line. I hope that makes sense. Let the brush do the work for you, and you'll get a smoother line. I'm just slowly dragging, and when I start to run out of paint, I just change position. I go from the other direction with the paint that's on the other side. Okay, so my paintbrush is getting dry, so I'm going to dip it a little bit more and push it out. Let the bristles go up and meet that line. Don't you try to brush that line. And just go slow. Okay, and then once you've got the rounded line, you can just go smooth out the big puddles that your brush left behind. Now, because I had so much paint on, I kind of have a puddle up on the edge. I am okay with there being a puddle, kind of a puddle line on the edge of my tire. I'm okay with that. That little dimension on that particular piece is absolutely fine with me. And if I can't get it absolutely perfect, I'm okay with that because I can go back with my marker and touch it up after it's dry. So I'm just going to make sure that I get a good coat on my wheels. So you'll see on my Easter eggs that the green goes a little bit up onto the Easter eggs. That is just so I make sure that all of my paints don't end up with a bare wood space in between them. And so the first thing I need to do is kind of draw what I am seeing as which egg is in the front. Draw that egg shape in so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm thinking this egg is probably also in the front. Okay, so I've drawn those in so that I can tell which eggs or which places to put which colors. Okay, you decide which ones you want to be facing front. It just feels to me like this one, this zigzag one, is absolutely in the front because it's rounded around here. This could go either way. No, if I were to draw this egg as in the front, I would go over one of these circles. So this egg has to be in the front. So it's just a matter of getting a good egg shape. Pencil it in. Always pencil it in before you go with the paint. Then what I would start with is I'm going to mask. I'm going to mask off the truck before I mask the eggs. Now I'm going to mask the truck. So I'm going to go right on the edge of my black line. And I may end up having to redo that black line. And that's okay. Oops. I'm going to make sure that I cover up all the little pieces on the end because I don't want them to get messed up. Okay, to the edge of my black line. All right. Just gonna fold my tape over. Fold my tape over. And we're ready to start painting the Easter eggs. And I have some colors already mixed from a previous video. If you saw the one where I painted all of the little Dollar Tree cutouts with the buffalo check pattern. So I'm going to start with the yellow that I have left over from that project. I like the way that looks. It's not super duper bright. I do need to go back over and redo that black line as soon as it's completely dry. But I like the way that looks. Now I've got all of the truck pretty much painted. I'm letting these eggs cure really well, and then I'm going to go back over and outline them with marker. And so I need to work on the base. Now, because my truck ended up being more green than I expected, I was hoping it would be a little more blue, but I added too much green to it, I guess. So I'm just going to go and paint the base of this. This is the piece that comes in with the truck. Oh, I am using Waverly chalk paint. Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. All right, I need to put some definition on these eggs, and I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, so we're going to try it together. I'm going to grab a marker in a color similar to what the egg is, and I'm going to try outlining the egg, the yellow egg, in a yellow pen. I don't know if this will work, but we are going to try. I just thought instead of black, it might look cute that way. All right. Oh, there's a better look at it for you. Okay, so those are the colors of the eggs. And now I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to redo this line right here. Just to make it crisp again. Okay, that side I think is pretty much done. Okay, so I want to put some kind of sign on my the door of my pickup truck. So I have this. Get this at Walmart. It's $5 or $6. It's just called a bag of wood. And there's all sorts of different shapes in there and everything for you to use. So I picked out 2 of these. I want to put it on another piece just because if I mess up the lettering, then I've got that and I don't have to go back and repaint the whole truck door. So I'm going to set this aside to dry and cure a little bit more, and I'm going to grab my green that I painted the base of the truck with, and I'm going to paint my little pieces of wood. Okay, so I've come up with a design I like, and I like that farm fresh eggs. Looks a little bit handwritten. What I'm doing is taking something round, the little pot that I've been mixing paint colors in, and I'm just lining it up so that the circle hits the corner of my little sign piece. And I'm just going to draw a line. That's going to give me an arch to write my letters on, and I'm just going to freehand it. It just kind of looks like somebody painted the sign themselves, and that's what I'm going after here. If it didn't have Easter eggs in the back, I would totally just put the sign on with Velcro, then I could change out the sign for the seasons. But this is definitely going to stay very Eastery because I don't see myself cutting those eggs off. You could totally use hot glue for this, but my hot glue gun battery is dead. It's charging. So I'm just going to push forward. Use some E6000. That'll never come off of there now. Usually I would put hot glue and E6000, and the hot glue would hold it in place while the E6000 cures, but not today. All that's left to do is put it in its stand. Now, if you wanted, you could use some of that sheet moss from the Dollar Tree that's, comes on a little, I don't know, 5 by 7 inch sheet, and put that on there. That would totally work. So that's what it looks like facing that way, and that's what it looks like facing that way. All right, there you have it, my Dollar General farm truck paint job. It's pretty basic. I didn't gussy it up with doodlings and speckles and all that. I just wanted kind of a clean farmhouse looking truck. I do see that I need to kind of polish this up a little bit here. Maybe a little more on this wheel. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've got. Let me know what you think of this project. And if you might go try to find one of these Dollar General trucks for yourself. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's absolutely fine. It lets me know what you guys like to see on my channel. This has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.